Hi, Collie. Good to see you. It's really nice to be back doing this tonight, even though I will be getting ready to make some pretty big transitions. I thought it would be good to do something more on Katawa Shoujo tonight, so that's what I will be getting ready to do. So I hope all you lords and ladies and magic initiates out there enjoy us going further into the story. I will be doing things a little bit differently. I may not be spending as many moments making comparisons between Katawa Shoujo and If My Heart Had Wings. I will if I feel it's relevant, but I think now that I've seen more of what this visual novel is capable of, I think it's pretty obvious at this point which one has the stronger story and the stronger character development. So I won't be dunking on If My Heart Had Wings as hard, but that doesn't mean I won't bring up comparisons if I feel like they're relevant or that they add something to the discussion I've been having. I'm also excited to do this just because yesterday was Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day out of the whole awareness month, and even though I didn't necessarily do anything as far as a stream, I'm hoping that maybe this stream will kind of count for that, even if it is a day after. So anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and load the story, or load our bookmark into the scribble here. And Collie says, oh hey, is that a new pic in the front screen? Yes, apparently it is, which I think is kind of cool. I think it's there to probably represent the actual bookmark. In other words, our saved progress, maybe. So I think that's cool and cute too. So I'm gonna go ahead and load this into my scribble and we can get started. And I know we already may have read this at the end of last session, but I'm gonna read it anyway. I wake up in a strange room. Solid morning light shimmers against the light gray ceiling. I had forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room. This is the third room this year that I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here remind me that indeed it's me who's supposed to be the one living here. My bags on the floor, my new school books on the desk. Who's the best magical? I suppose me. Hi, Akuri. Welcome. I'll give you a hint. Oh no, I think it might be me. I don't know. Maybe just a little. Welcome. I am glad to have you here with me tonight. She starts with a T. Let me guess, does it end with a weefy? My numerous medications on the night table. It ends with FY. Yes, okay. It's me. Thank you. You are so sweet. I also see a distinct lack of a Curry Steefy emotes. Oh no. Well, that's kind of a change up, and sorry, my brain just kind of disconnected there. Thank you, Rabbit Hound, for the follow. Oh, there they are. Shh, don't say anything. Thank you, Colleen, for being so sweet. As always, welcome. Welcome, Rabbit Hound. Good to see you. Okay, let me make sure I don't lose track of what I'm doing here. I stare at the bottles for a moment, deliberating until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop out a tablet from the foil sheet. I down them with a chaser of water without thinking about the chemistry. That's probably not a good idea, but at least he's trying to take some of his medication. My uniforms are in the closet. I slink out from under the sheets and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new school uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. Thank you, Lucia, for hosting me. Thank you so much. So I like that this really shows that he is not really identifying with where he's at yet, which I think is consistent with sort of his way of kind of behaving with this whole idea of going to the school in the first place. So I think the writing does a really great job of kind of demonstrating his lack of attachment yet to this kind of new identity as someone with a disability and also as someone who's attending this new school. So I really like what the writing is telling us and showing us about that. The artificial smell of generic detergent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one, a natural one. It feels like a school uniform, as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before. Yes, Akari, I am playing another visual novel called Katawa Shoujo, and I was recommended this title by a very dear friend because of the disability related content that is also in it. So I was very eager to give it a try and see how I liked it. Hello, Dinosaur. I'm honestly a little mad. The company that made this game has an April Fool's announcement for DLC Romantic Paths. Oh, I don't know how to feel about that. Dino Sawyer says, I got so excited when I saw it, but then I got sad. Oh, yeah, I think that's the way I'm feeling a bit too. After hearing that, I'm like, why would they make that an April Fool's joke? Like, I actually am really liking this visual novel so far. That goes for other things too. So far, this place seems more or less like a normal school, which is a good thing. Because our main character did have some reservations about that when he got the news he was going to be transferring here. So it's kind of cool to see that he's already thinking, well, maybe this isn't so bad. Except for the people. I think back to my talk with Kenji yesterday. Misha's constant laughter and Shizune's sweeping sign language gestures. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure others are. Or perhaps people like them. Or what passes for normal around here? Well, in a way, that's a good point. If disability is seen as more common and more natural and more part of a continuum, then this idea of being normal or not normal wouldn't really exist in the same way. So we have met two girls so far, and we have met one other male character who is on the same floor as us. So we have met a girl, Shizune, who has to use sign language, and we have met her interpreter, Misha. We've also seen some other people in the class, but we haven't necessarily gotten their names yet. Yeah, what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after class yesterday, so maybe there are clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. Now, what's really funny, and this is one of the only comparisons I am gonna make to If My Heart Had Wings, the main character, Aoi, has so much trouble with the idea of joining a school club. Like, he seems so non-committal about it, and yet here we're already thinking, hey, it might be cool to join one. So I think it's really kind of neat that they're making Hisao be a little bit more outgoing and a little more affable, even if he is kind of still struggling with his with how he relates to this whole situation of being in another school with others who have a variety of disabilities, and maybe even including himself as someone with a disability. He's making the best of it, and I respect him for it. And I agree with you, Dino. That's one of the things I really like, is that the writers took care in making Hisao's character be a good balance between what we would expect a person to go through when becoming newly disabled, and sort of the strength of his spirit at the same time. All through class, the question remains on my mind, so I decide to ask Shizune about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if I had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. And Kale says, at Akuri, it's more anime, just the budget was low, so there are a lot of stock photos for scenes. That is true, and that is one of the more visible things about it, obviously, but it doesn't, to me, it's not a huge letdown in that way. I think they more than make up for it so far in story and character development, so I'm kind of willing to accept that. And as you can see, we do have some character art that was specifically made for the game, Shizune. She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down so that the top is perfect and evenly flat. Hello, Aiden. Good to see you. Oh no. I hate to say that I can relate with this. Not in terms of needing an interpreter like she is gonna need, but I can relate to how frustrating it can be sometimes when you are relying on someone else to do something and you're kind of left waiting on them. Especially when there's something really urgent to do and you're just kind of standing or sitting there like, this is really important and I really need help with this. I can relate to that expression, and I can relate to that situation. . Misha. Haha, sorry, Shichan. Is there something you wanted from me? Yes! She probably wants your help translating. Oh, I see. That's a good question, Hichan. My first thought is that means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too negative. Well, anyway, Misha, please don't prove me right. Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do. So because there isn't really anything else to do. That face from Shichan. I agree. It's so pouty, but I don't blame her. I would be looking the same way. Being like, get your buns over here and help me. There are also school events like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student in the school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, you actually transferred in at a busy time. Maybe you can help out too. Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes. I don't know, Hichan. The truth is, it's a local event and I'm not from this area, so... Again, that is totally like my draconic cousin. She would totally flop off and answer like that. She starts signing desperately to Shizune, asking her to bail her out. Shizune adjusts her glasses at the end of an oddly grandiose flourish and starts signing hard and heavy. I love how they go out of their way to describe what the sign language is like. I think that really gives you a sense that even though it's not verbal communication, it's still communication, and it has nuance and feeling and everything, and I think that's really, really, really important. Especially because sign language is a huge part of deaf culture, and it is a huge part of their identity, obviously. So I really love the tender love and care the writers have given this. She's so cheeky. Yeah. Also, lords and ladies, if I happen to stumble over a few words or anything like that, please forgive me. Sometimes my brain gets going way too fast or not fast enough. So if that happens during this cast, just know that it might happen, and it's just my brain doing its Tiefy thing sometimes, but we'll just deal with it. Huh? Oh. Who cares? Misha puffs out her chest as she shouts Shizune's words out at me with a disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud. I can see heads turning to look in our direction. Aw, it's okay, Stevie. Well, I know, but I usually just like to let people know that if I feel like I'm having one of those moments tonight, I just like to, just let people know. It's part of just being honest about, the various things that I have to deal with from time to time. I just like to be open about them. Because I just think it makes it easier for everyone, me included. Not so loud. I kind of have that problem too. Even without activating thaumaturgy, my voice kind of carries, even when I'm not meaning it to, so I can kind of relate. Human beings evolve with each new generation. The ideals and beliefs behind a festival will inevitably change with time. Okay, Misha, that's very observant, but you still haven't answered my question. Or, now, it's about delicious fried food and amazing little games that you play to win prizes. Wow. That would definitely be my draconic cousin when talking about the festivals in my kingdom. She would totally blow over the important details about like how it deals with the goddess and fertility and partnership and love, and she would just say, nah, it's about the fried food and the prizes. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, batting his long wooden pointer against his other palm like a baton. Oh. He shoots a pointed gaze at us. Uh-oh. Finally noticing where we are, Misha stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. Shizune doesn't seem embarrassed at all though, brushing it off without a care. We are in the middle of class and should start working. Yeah, you think? Yeah, teacher doesn't like us just yammering on about stuff, and particularly you being loud and also still not answering my question about what the festival's on. That's right, Shi-chan. What? That's right, He-chan. Are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchanged between them. Misha's tone has also changed, although it does that every other word. Anyway, wow, okay. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizune look at each other again. I'm about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with long dark hair get up from her desk and slip silently toward the door. It doesn't seem like she was working in any group, and no one seems to notice her but me. I glance at the teacher who is also looking at the dark-haired girl go. Why doesn't he say anything? He-chan, is something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me, looking after the girl who left? No, nothing. Shizune. Okay, well, like we were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay. Wahaha. Okay, Hee-chan, perfect. Who is right? That's an interesting, this is an interesting development. And it's also cool that they are trying to be friendly to him. The rest of the class passes uneventfully. The girl with the long hair never came back. She might have had to go to the nurse's office or something, maybe. Before I have the time to put any more thought into where she could have gone, the teacher informs us that it's time to stop working. Shizune looks more than a little annoyed that we have only just barely managed to finish all our work on time. I'm just glad we finished it all. It's not a contest or anything. Yes, it is, Hichan. Impossible. Really? Really? Hichan is such a busybody. Well, I think she has every right to be, like, serious and wanting to keep busy. She is the class representative, after all, so I feel like I can relate to that. She has a lot of pressure in a way, I think. Or at least she wants to keep up this image that she's reliable and will put in good work. I've noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signing not only everything she says, but what everyone else is saying at any given time. Well, and that's actually a good practice for an interpreter so that the person who needs them understands not only the conversation going on, but the subtext and some of the other conversations going on around them so that they're not literally left out of the loop. Tiffy is a bit of a Shichan herself. Yes, I kind of hate to admit it, but yeah, I'm kind of serious and studious that way. Obviously, it must be so that Shizune can understand it. Her eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hands and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizune. I'm used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really, Shizune can't hear me. But it would be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Good observation, Hisao. Very mature of you, very aware. I love it. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, she's at least looking at me. This is all very confusing, and will take some time to get used to. Which is also another good point, that getting used to the do's and don'ts within a community and how to relate with a new group of people can and should take time. And I like how he's admitting that here, and he also seems to be open to putting in that time to learn instead of just being like, oh well, I'm gonna just treat people how I think I can treat them, instead of like learning what the best way to treat them is. So I really like how Hisao is very open-minded and very willing to soak in his surroundings. It's not a contest, because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prize on the line, it's not really a contest. Shizune's eyes flash dangerously with a competitive glare. She stares at me as if surprised that I'm challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. Interesting though, considering Hisao and a bit earlier considered this a step down. Oddly mature of him here. I think so as well, but I think he's already starting to realize this school isn't what he feared that it was gonna be. I think because he already woke up with the thoughts of like this is more normal than he thought, but also like not normal. I think this is his way of trying to adjust in some way, even if he still has reservations. I think it is very mature of him. But I think the writers have done a good job in showing that he is capable of this level of maturity, so it doesn't necessarily feel like they're forcing this on him, really. So I think it's still some good progression. I'm just gonna be interested to see how he handles any of the other classmates. I never noticed before how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly an alluring gaze. Are you sure, Hichan? Very sure. Still interesting, he feels it important to care for Shizune's feelings, despite him being used to looking at whomever is speaking to him. This is very true. I think what they're just trying to show is his emotional IQ, essentially, his emotional awareness. Even if he's not used to a scenario like this. So, I mean, I think that I prefer them handling it this way as opposed to him making a major faux pas of like not even thinking about Shizune and making eye contact with her. But I still think it's a little bit interesting. I agree with you that he seems to be adapting to kind of a form of disability etiquette so well, even from the point of view of he hasn't really been around a lot of people like this before. But I still want to give the writers credit in that they really are trying to establish him as somebody who has like the awareness and sensitivity to consider those things at least. Haha, you're wrong, Hee-chan, because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence in my abilities, and the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. Wahaha! Shizune pushes her glasses up the bridge of her nose in a very matter-of-fact way. True. This is a better way to show right away. Disability, positivism, and engagement. Yes. I'd argue more, but the bell rings and she quickly gets up, picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. I had almost forgotten that I was supposed to have lunch with them. Where do you want to eat? The cafeteria? Haha, that's so plain. Okay, let's go. Plain? Well, I guess. At my old school, I liked to eat outside near the back of the building. It was a good spot, but I didn't find it until near the end of my freshman year. I wonder if there's a similar place to eat here. Misha seems to imply as much. Misha and Shizune are a great pair to lead with so far. I agree. They are both very interesting, and I think they've picked a good character pairing in the sense that not only are they good personality-wise, they're a good balance for each other, but there's a really strong connection between the two of them, which is what I also really like about the characters so far in this visual novel, as opposed to If My Heart Had Wings, that there is much more of an emphasis on saying this is the reason why these characters are associated, and this is the reason why you should value that connection. Though my personal pick has yet to arrive. Okay, Dinosaur, no spoilers. Hopefully that murmuring in the background doesn't start up again, but even if it does, I'm prepared this time. Oh, not saying a word about it, Tiefs. No worries. Okay, good. Good, but I'm excited to know that one of your favorites is somewhere down the line. As this is my first time playing, I'm gonna be just very interested to meet everyone and kind of see where they're all at. Okay, Shizune and Misha pull me toward the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in classroom or outdoors. I saw some of my classmates had boxed lunches. Thank goddess for that. I think it means we're gonna get away with not having so much conversation in here this time. And Kali says, well, when they appear, please feel free to let us know. Yes, please do. Okay, let's click on over here. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So, Hichan, you wanted to know about clubs and stuff, right? Right, Shichan. Okay, I guess it makes sense to ask first. Exchanging little nods of confirmation, they turn to face me again, and Misha straightens her posture as if she is about to deliver a speech. Hichan, do you have anything you're really interested in? I used to play soccer. I'm not really into it. I don't follow the teams and players or anything like that. Oh, you'll know. Oh, boy. Okay, Dino. Well, Misha, Shizune, Tiefy are my faves so far. Kali, don't embarrass me. I love you, though. Okay. As of late, I usually just read a lot. There is a book club, right, Shichan? Right, but it seems like they have all the members they can possibly have right now. Sorry, Hichan, it's really popular club. Well, I'm glad it's so popular. As someone who loves books herself, I'm glad. I'm glad it's so popular. Dinosaur, Kali, you dork. Oh, yeah. He can be a little bit dorky sometimes, but he's adorable, so it's okay. Okay. But more to the point, Hichan, does this mean you don't have anything already in mind? Not really. Good, great. That's great, Hichan. Really great. Ha ha ha. Wahaha. She has such a funny laugh. I can't get over that. Why is that so great? No reason. Oh, that little impish smile. Yes, I keep seeing my cousin every time I see that. Well, Hichan, other than clubs and the upcoming festival, there is one other thing. I love that laugh. Such energy and love her joy. Agreed. Student council. I see. I didn't know the school had a student council. Well, I'm kind of surprised that he's surprised. I mean, I know this isn't your typical school, but seeing as Shizune is the class rep, I kind of assumed there was probably a bigger student governing body, but oh well. That was a very melodramatic setup, though, just to tell me that. I'm pretty sure the two of them know this because Shizune looks a little embarrassed about it, and Misha is laughing. Shizune quickly retakes control of the discussion, in a manner of speaking. After all, it's still Misha who has to voice whatever she says. Ah! Right. Hichan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we could hang out every day, Hichan. Shichan and I are both in the student council. Actually, Shichan is the president. Why does that not surprise me? She has the nice, reliable presidential vibes going for her everywhere. I'm starting to get the suspicion that Shizune and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk about this with. As if reading my mind, Shizune quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Was there a choice to join that I missed? Not yet. I don't think so. They're just kind of going over options with him right now, I think. Nope. You didn't miss anything. Because usually if there's a choice, they make it really obvious, and I wouldn't be able to just, skip over it. I actually have to make a choice. Haha! Of course, we're not trying to get you to join just because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council, and therefore have an incentive to try to get you to. So you're admitting that? No, we admit nothing. I mean, Hichan, of course it would be nice if you joined. We'd appreciate it. But even without all that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the workings of one's school. Yep, it's true, Hichan. Besides, don't you want to spend time with us after school? I can't tell if she's being genuine or if this is just really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest, although they are already pretty cute to begin with. Well, so it's settled then. Welcome to the student council, Hichan. Wait, he didn't necessarily say whether he was going to or not. Well, at least here we get maybe what it's gonna feel like if someone just ups and makes a decision for him. And I like that he does consider them cute, and as I said before, and in my mind, a more gentlemanly way, kind of in a way that I think is actually super attractive and super sexy, and that he's just making observations, but he's not making a big deal to point out certain aspects of their figures. I think that's a really classy choice on the part of the writers. What? No. See? Shichan, of course it wouldn't go so easily. Yep, that's right, though it would be boring if it went that smoothly. Oh well. Shichan owes me candy now. You were betting on it? Hey, it's my life, not a game here. Oh, TV is indeed the big cute. Oh, thank you. Shizune seems very intrigued by this. When Misha signs it to her, the aggressive glint returns to her eyes. Wahaha! That's interesting, Hichan. Let's play a game. Oh no, that's not what I said. How about rich man, poor man, Hichan? If you lose, you have to join the student council. No, absolutely not. Oh, why not? Well, because you two both have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right? Hey, Tiefy, do you think you would look good in glasses? Probably. It would definitely add to my scholarly vibe, for sure. I have to put on a pair of reading glasses or something when I'm looking at things. Yes, very yes. Aw. Yep. Yeah, that isn't my goal, but what this means is that both of you can team up and I'll be at a clear disadvantage, so I will have to decline. Maybe you could get your modeler, Hato, to add a glasses accessory. Perhaps. I could ask him about that. Hey-chan, I'm very offended. Are you saying you don't trust us and that would pull something so disingenuous? That makes me sad. Sorry? It's hard to tell where Shizune's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. That's kind of an interesting observation. I wouldn't be surprised if that can sometimes happen when you work so closely together, at least from the outside looking in. I could imagine it looking very much this way, where these two people look to be of the same mind but of two different personalities, which is kind of cool. And Kali says, hashtag TV with glasses, soon, trademark. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the student council. No! How about a game of paper football instead of rich man, poor man? Paper football? Yeah, it's a game they play in America. You make a paper triangle and then you try to shoot it past goalposts that the other player makes with their fingers. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people, Hichan. And it's also played by elementary and school children. Shichan. Wow! That means it's a game that really separates the boys from the men. More like the boys from the slightly older men. Anyway, I'm not gonna play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it. Ha ha ha. That's true. How did you know, Hichan? I don't know, because maybe you would suggest things that you're good at to get in competition with, so I don't know, that you might have an easy win. Shizune frowns at Misha, telling me that she probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with their attempts to get me into the student council, but I'm a little curious about what the student council does here. I've never been on one before or even known anyone who was a member, so it interests me. I also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, Hichan, how about Risk? The game of world domination. I don't know what that is. It's really fun, Hichan. You fight for control of the world with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizune would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Nice. Misha likes her games. Yes. Although, unlike Shizune, I probably would not be very good at a game like that, honestly. Really, Shichan? We can just play for fun. Shichan hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay, perfect. We'll see you after school in the student council room then, Hichan. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. Convenient. Also, see the hashtag and the messages below that. Yeah, I think I read your hashtag. That was TV with glasses. We're quite a lot like those two. We kind of are in our own way. We're like two separate people that kind of share the same mind. Because you are so used to working with me and I'm so used to working with you. It's kind of, we've developed a similar rhythm like that, I would say. I grimaced to tell them how much I did not like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end, I agree, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete, just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Ha! Tiefy. College star. Nice. Yes. Yes, that's a pretty good description and a pretty funny reference for being of one mind and two different souls. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I've been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. Actually makes me wonder if anyone has done two-player College Star yet. I don't know of anyone of my friends who's done one, and I do not think I have actually met a College Star yet. But it would be interesting to try to get two players around the D&D table to try to work together to play one character, especially maybe two players who don't get along. I might actually see how that could be employed to maybe teach some players how to work together and get on the same wavelength, as they literally have to inhabit the same body to get anywhere. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell. Oh dear. Wahaha! What's wrong, Hee-chan? That's right, we're just gonna play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha, this all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that escalated quickly. Oh, risky, yeah. Yeah, that would be another kind of risky they might play. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. It's not. That's not true, Hee-chan. Shi-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have been shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Oof. Okay. Hisao, maybe that might have been a little unnecessary there. Little bit. Maybe it is. In the more spicy bits. Who knows? Maybe in the more 18 plus version, maybe there is more that happens in this quote unquote game of Risk. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's very plain. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. Kinky Risk sounds like fun. Golly! Shh! There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well, extras perhaps. Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have. The most notable thing is that this room doesn't have other people. Are we early? Oh, don't tell me the student council is just the two of them. No. I bet it is just the two of them. What do you mean, no? Does it mean no one else is coming today? No, it means that it is just the two of them. Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hichan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Ha ha ha. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. I like how they just dodged that whole question about whether other people were coming to the student council room. Tiefy's intuition says that there's only two of them in the student council. And that's why they said they could use more members, because I think it's just them. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Also, good skip over a moment that could have been a long explanation of how to play the game of Risk. Ha! Yes, Collie, I agree with you, and I see what you're referencing there. Because as many of you may know, that was one of the things I did not really like about If My Heart Had Wings, where they would just go into this big long exposition, and it's like, nobody needs to hear that. Good job, writers. Yay! More points to the writers. Yes, they're doing a good job. I just wish my reading wasn't as sloppy as it is in some parts, but Whatever, I'm doing the best I can. My brain is just kind of wandering all around tonight, so it's kind of hard to like get her in place where she should be, but we're making it. Hichan. Shichan wants you to know that you are taking too long to make a move. Shichan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council, and there it is. Tiefy break over a little bit, but I hope it's still enjoyable. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Shichan admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Crafty. Ooh, clutch move. Yes. Ha 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 ha. You're so competitive, Shizune. Holding Australia is like one of the known things in Risk. Well, I would trust you to know that since I don't have very much experience with that game. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would too, honestly. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what that word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Only one way in, so you end up putting all your forces there and turtling. Ooh, cool. Yeah, I like this detail where they actually show how it has to work when the person doing the signing has to learn how to express a new word to a person who needs to be able to read the sign. I think that is a very cool and very necessary detail. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Wait, please slow down, Shichan. Hichan, Shichan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief. She says you have no choice, no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. She has a point. Attack aggressively. It's a trap. It's smarter to play defensively here. I'm probably gonna go with the second one because I think Shizune is counting on you to be bold and maybe not think about it and attack head on, and if you do, she might just twist it around back on you. So I'm gonna go with the second choice. It's likely that she's just trying to psych me out. Ack, I am late to the stream. Don't worry about it, Nikki. It's okay. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense set up, and I'm not going to wreck it doing something reckless. It's a carp. I love that. Now watch. Somebody's gonna clip that. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Oof. Okay, well, we were probably gonna lose anyway because Shizune looks like she's played this game a lot, so even if we tried to play more defensively and conservatively, we probably would have lost anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. Wahaha! Hichan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Shichan, not me. Oops. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides a 5-army bonus. But you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, Hichan. Your play needs to be more daring. Ambition, ambition. I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Hichan. That is true. Can attest from my attempts at risk. You didn't take enough risk. I see. And when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Hichan. That's also probably a good lesson and a good mirror right there. Not just in terms of that game, but in terms of life. That if you don't take enough risks, you're not gonna get enough reward. And, that playing it safe only works for so long. So, that's kind of cool that they're using this game and using some of that outcome to tell you something about yourself or your psyche. I think that's kind of cool. That there's a bit of subtext here. Damn, what's it to her if I played too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. I wonder if you'd even be any good for the student council. Oof. Oh dear, I hope there could be a recovery from that. I hope so too. But like I said, I've never played this before. So we'll see. Probably we're trying to suss, yeah, right here. What's this? Reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case. Giving up just like that? I expected more of you. Seriously, is Shizune trying to taunt me into joining the council? Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my 2nd day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at any of the other clubs yet, and these two, they're a little weird. Oh dear. Fine, I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the clubs before I decide. Really, Hichan? You're not just saying that to make us feel better. Yeah. I'm just not sure that I want to. Stream is being baka for me and keeps freezing on my end. Oh no. Here, maybe I can send you some good luck. Okay, Hichan, but we're not gonna give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we could really have fun. We could play more Risk, and maybe one day you could beat me unless we graduate before that. That doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining, you know. It seems like taking a risk there would have led to a more positive result right away with these two. Yes, it seems so, but I'm not gonna feel bad about it. So, I mean, that's just kind of the way these games go, I guess, so. Wahaha, surely you're not that horrible at board games? Maybe we can play a game you know then, to give you a handicap. Oof. I might have said that just to make you feel better after all. Ooh. Ah, that's cold, He-chan. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize that I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. Aw, man. Now I feel bad. Oh. Well, whatever. I kind of do too, but I don't know how kosher it would be to just be like, oh, I'm gonna go back and like do the other choice or something. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. Up to you, Tiefyweefy. Oh my goodness. Well, I kind of want to see what would happen if I make the other choice, but I also don't want to get in the habit of like doing things over, but I'm really curious in this case because I was kind of torn between being like really exuberant and choosing like barge in and like attack or be more conservative. So I guess what I could always do is get out of this scenario in the one way I did it and then maybe like do it over and just see what it would do. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks. It's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay, I kind of wanna see what would happen if I did the other choice. I really do like them, and I kind of want to see how much of a difference that would make. But I also don't want to make my cast weird by like, oh look, Tiefy went and did like 2 different things. But I'm just really curious. Okay. Man, it would be really cool if I could do like a different save, but I think if I save right now, it'll save over. Well, but see, that's what I'm worried about, is like, what if I don't have the option to make a different, save slot? Because I don't want to accidentally save over this. Ugh. Click load first. Okay, well, this will load me back to where I was. Maybe I can have more than one loaded game. I would assume maybe I could because, you know, this is a game of multiple choices. I just don't want to, like, accidentally save over something. You know what? Just because I don't want to risk, saving over this, I'm gonna just load this and then quickly kind of catch up, to where we were before. Yes. Okay, so I think there's an option in here, to do, whoa. Okay, that's what skip mode does. Okay. I'm gonna do that again and then just get ready to stop it here when I get to that choice. Okay. Attack aggressively. Let's see what this does. She's either mocking me or trying to trick me. I have nothing else to lose though, so I might as well try something different. Okay. This actually kind of sounds more like me when I'm being my actual fiery self, that I will take risks. So I kind of like what this is teaching me about myself too. So, let's see what this does. Maybe if I spread out my forces and try to control more territories, I can recoup the advantage. Shizune seems to focus on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my hold on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. But I bet her reaction to us is going to be a bit different. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist. Okay. I win! Yay! There's no need to translate that. It's pretty clear. Wah! Don't look so sad, Hee-chan. You were really giving it your best. That's what I thought. Okay, so they are being way more positive, so even if you do lose, they're not like giving you a bunch of guff over it. Okay. Quite the risk, but the gamble was worth it for a different reason. I agree. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough, though. If anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. Hee-chan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Hee-chan is impressed. Yay, okay. I'm gonna do some wiggles. I like that we were able to impress her. Okay. Yay for being bold. I like that. The mark of great people is that they are daring and that they can follow through. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, Hee-chan? Yeah, the energy is more positive, and this feels good, and this kind of feels like an awesome personal lesson for this little Tiefy right here. Especially with a lot of the stuff that I've been dealing with recently about remembering how to be brave and trust myself and do the thing I'm good at, which is taking risks. That isn't good enough, though. Just potential isn't enough. There's no point to potential if you don't take the first step, and there's no point to that if you don't keep going. I want to see more. You're right, Hee-chan, but that's so demanding. I don't care. I'm a little bit like Hee-chan. A little bit. Like, of myself and of other people sometimes. Like, I really want them to bring out their best. And as you can see, even through this playthrough, I'm kind of struggling right now between the parts of myself that want to play it safe and the parts of myself that know the thrill of going out of my comfort zone. Shizune leans forward suddenly, looking a lot less playful and more like the serious person I expected her to be from the start. Hee-chan, would you like to join the student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? But it's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet. But spending time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. Good lesson, Katawa. Thank you. Yes. Well, you could say being a VTuber when you were previously a writer was quite the daring move. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, and it still is. I'm still surprised that I went from being a writer and an author and I started casting from my Scribble. I think that's a huge risk and a huge change that I've been rewarded for, but I still can't believe that I just kind of brazenly did it and said, you know what, I'm going to do this now. I still need time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe. I'll get back to you on it. Okay, Hee-chan, but I hope you're not just saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really. Really? Hee-chan, if you're going to say that, you're saying that it's definitely the truth and that there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have my revenge for losing, at the very least. Shizune smiles at that in a mischievous way that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. Ooh. I take a glance at the clock and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. Is it not closed? It's not closed yet, is it? Okay, so this is somewhat similar. I'm not gonna necessarily read this part because I read that already. One flight of stairs up, and I run into problems. Uh-oh. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor. Ooh, that means he's probably gonna get lost. Kind of like me, I would get lost. So yeah, this is definitely gonna be down the Misha Shizune route. Yes. Wide, of course, and plain. Like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there is a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though. It's just barely ajar so that I can see it's open and nothing else. Meaning your end goal would be to relate with Misha Shizune more than the others. Yes. So at this point, it looks like I've made some decisions that might mean that they become more of a focus, but I bet we will still get to visit with some of the other women. It just may mean that because of these early on choices, there's still going to be a point of interest. It would make sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing it is. Gingerly, I push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. Well, don't know. Might be some BL options in here. Yeah, it might be very possible that it's not just women you can relate with, but some of the men here too. So if that's the case, that would be very interesting, as then it's not just focused on one kind of sexuality then, which I think would make this even more unique. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though is much easier to open than I had anticipated. leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible. The meek "hello" on my lips is quickly snatched away. Ooh, hello! I don't know who she is yet, but she's elegant. This is not as I was expecting. Heck, considering the males in these vans are decently good looking, makes me think that there's a missed opportunity. I like that thought, and Silverwood, I see your redeems. I'm gonna do them. So, okay, here we go. Yay! And I'll go ahead and do the other one too. Yeah. Which actually fits with what's on screen right now. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure, taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup. Tea! I love tea! Okay, we're having a tea party or something in here. I love this. And opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there. May I help you? Wavy-haired girl. Staring directly, yeah, that was right. Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. I would say so by maybe her blonde hair and blue eyes. Hi, sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, this is Katawa Shoujo. This is a visual novel with a bunch of main female characters with disabilities. So, that's technically why I'm looking at this one. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks? I slowly step toward... Come on, Tiefy. Don't rush through things, just relax, Reed. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling that, and the slight cloudiness to her eye means that she must be at least partially blind like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku. Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling that my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting, on which I hastened to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Sato. Nice to meet you. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. No spoilers. I'm not sure about that. Oh no. I'm not sure about that. We'll see about that. A brush here, a brush there. Her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. I really like those details. They're actually showing you how she gets around her world and how she kind of paints her own picture of what's where and everything like that. I really like that this visual novel takes the time to demonstrate that to people who may not have gotten to experience people with disabilities either in their own life or in their own schools and things like that. I think it's a really nice touch. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. I agree. And thank you for the host, Infinity. I really appreciate it. And thank you for joining me also. And thank you for the hydrate. I will go ahead and do that. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her during the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offerer preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library, Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring the water into the teacup. As she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup, indicating it's being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most of the students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives me a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking toward the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite the character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. Aw, she's so cute. She's so classy. I love this. Well, they're all classy, but particularly because we walked in on her having some tea, and I'm very partial to tea myself. I would very much imagine myself liking to have a cup of tea in just such a scenario. Oh, this is cute. I like that we actually get some more art of Hisao, actually, because that's one thing we don't get in If My Heart Had Wings very much. We don't get to see Aoi. And Hisao is pretty good looking, if I do say so myself. And Kali, I see that redeem, you stinker. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Ara. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks. Sato, it tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh, wow. I guess I should try to ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. Actually, that's very good that they put that in there, because language is an issue, and it is important that we look at these very well-worn phrases for things that might be slightly offensive or insensitive or possibly ableist. Kind of like what this visual novel is doing here. It's kind of calling out some of that and saying, hey, maybe we should be a little bit more aware of the speech we use, even if we're not meaning to have it come across in a certain way. Was gonna say she is giving off some lack of sight vibes, yes. And that is very much the case by the details that they kind of gave you about how she's navigating through this room, that she's using a lot of touch. And also, he did kind of mention something with her eyes, so that's kind of supposed to be another clue, and here she kind of mentions it outright. I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Ah, sure. Sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind the school that I like to have lunch at. Kinda reminds me of another refined blind princess, Nunnally. Yes, in a way. And Nunnally is actually one of the characters that when I get into more looking at anime and manga, she is definitely going to be one of the characters that I will look at. I come here fairly often during lunchtime as my duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely the opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kinds of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtimes, the baseball club, and the book club, in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, though, such as art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it's encouraged. Ah, good, that's a relief. I've really let my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctively orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. TV between Shichan and Lily, where do you think you sit? I think that personality-wise, as far as being driven and a little bit fiery, I think I'm more Shizune, but I think I certainly have some Lily-like qualities too. Because after all, being raised as a princess, I do have some knowledge of all that refinement and court etiquette and the like. So I would think that maybe others might see me as more of a Lily, perhaps. I think that I have some of her desire to be formal and well presented. I think I have that from her, as well as her love of tea and quiet, beautiful spaces. So I'd say I'm maybe a little bit of a blend, but definitely more on Shizune, I think. The time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Hisao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly move to allay her concern. No, it's okay. The library is still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True. It's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms we have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me, ooh. That's me, right here. That's me. I would need a lot more directions, which they seem to have a habit of doing. Also me. It's alright, I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes a hold of a straight, retractable cane that has been slipped into the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. This is correct. Those are what those canes are used for. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers, we slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to a warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. Well, now isn't that just gentlemanly? Hisao is definitely earning lots of points from me. That is the right thing to do. Whether you are a man or a woman, that is the epitome of gentlemanliness. Take that, Aoi. Yes, even though I said I wasn't going to do any too much dunking on If My Heart Had Wings, this is a very, very clear example between Aoi as the main protagonist and Hisao. I clearly have a favorite. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with the distinct smell of old books, giving the place an almost old-world air. Well, in that case, it would smell a lot like the library I'm sitting in at the moment. There don't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Wonder if dwarves would be offended with things like dwarfing or other things. Ooh, probably. Probably. Or even people in your world who do have dwarfism as a condition. That might be a problem as well. So that's why, like, language is a tricky thing. Even if we use certain words because, quote, everyone knows what you're talking about, it's still kind of good to look at that language and see, like, the other implications that might be behind it. And this is not to say that when you're being conscientious of language, it's not that you're trying to police people or take away language, but rather that you're looking at it consciously and with the effort of understanding why certain words over other words might be better to use or more compassionate to use or more tactful to use than others. Which, as a writer and a scholar and someone who does navigate through disability spaces, it has been a commitment of mine to fine-tune my language and to be very mindful of the languages and phrases I use, even if they are commonplace. I have noticed that in a lot of phrases that are commonplace, they do have a lot of ableist overtones. So I myself have made an effort to eliminate those from my lexicon or to find alternatives that are not engaging in this other subtext and this other meaning that I might not want to conjure up. to say the least. Yuko, are you here? She says it to the thin air since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Oh no! Thank you, Collie, for taking care of that. I appreciate it. Ah. Oh, hello! The origin apparently is the librarian. Quickly crawls out and bounces up. To extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily, how can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing, I just hit my head. Ow. I hope she gets something for that later. That's not fun. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk while I was looking for it. A pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came in and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay, sorry for making you worry. It's nothing, I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. Guess who's back? Back again. Storm is back. Tell a friend. Yay, welcome back. No, it's okay. It's fun. I liked it. Oops. I think I might have just forgotten to read something. A little shorter than Lily. Replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a library perfectly. Well, I suppose now I have to get glasses, don't I? I have to show them off for you. Because apparently being associated with a library at all, I should have some reading glasses for the chic and the aesthetic of it. But yeah, Streamlabs wasn't playing nice, so I had to cut the stream earlier than usual. Oh no, I've had that happen before. That stinks. But I'm glad that you're kind of hanging out with me for a little bit. I'm very appreciative. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived? Right. They finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Blue light glasses are fun. They make me look cute. I bet they do. Not quite as cute as the emote. It's still cute, though. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Well, this is a lot better than what happened in If My Heart Had Wings. I mean, the main character guy was just standing in a workshop, and the student Amane working there in that game stood up and walked right past him, sat back down, and did not even notice him until like 5 minutes later. So already this is going better for our main protagonist, but it should, because he's got some class. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. Oh, don't worry. You don't need to be so nervous. Oh dear, she kind of has some of my bad habits, I think. The way she can quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. Oh, I think they might be giving us a clue to maybe what her disabilities might be. Since the narration is kind of going out of its way to kind of point that out. A TV with the glasses chic would be hot. I'm sure it would be. And it would be kind of interesting to see if that's actually a good look for me or not. He's with me. Yuko, this is Hisao, the new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao, right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Sounds like me. Sounds like me too. I really want to learn people's names. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Well, that's nice. And of course, a school like this better import books written in Braille for you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be very much of a disability accommodating school now, would they? Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. I did get one phenomenal clip earlier. Mind if I drop it? I don't mind. Go ahead. How it's any responsibility at all I don't get, but her objection is so sincere that I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. Oh no! That also sounds like me. I deal a lot with some of that anxiety sometimes. Ooh. It's okay. But, so there are a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think a third or fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Oh no. I will have to watch that clip later. Makes sense given all the blind students that'd be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. It's so troublesome, and they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. Oh no, I love books. I would take that job in a heartbeat. Also, that's what magic like Levitate and Mage Hand are good for. They make those big heavy library books not be so heavy. A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check on the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably the best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Oh dear. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would like to have those books if it's all right with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of the books. in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choices in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and braille books scattered throughout. But it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily in snuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Not to mention your disc. Yes, my disc also does help reaching those shelves and having a place to set those books when I want to take a few of them with me or put them away again. But of course, I don't only use my disc for that. Of course, I even use it to get around the library in my keep and also the other areas of my keep. But yes, it is very handy for helping little old me with not very strong arms carry all of the things I want to read. I hear that Force disc can carry up to 500 pounds. I would believe that, because I have had quite a big stack of books on there once, and it seemed to handle that and me fairly well. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks, set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting desk, either reading or stealthily student sitting at the desk, either reading or sleeping. The back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the beanbags. Oh, hello there. So we finally get to meet her again. Maybe she won't run out and leave us before we have a chance to say hi. Oh, she looks a little scared though. Don't be scared. It's okay. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she's acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely toward the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking toward the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. So it seems your vibes are so far are the student council or the library. Potentially yes. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, at least a third, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. Also, Hannah, my girlfriend, was curious if that is your natural voice. Obvious. Only answer if you're comfortable. I I want to know her story. Mine too, and it looks like we have a choice. And I forgot to read that. Hi, I'm new here. I'm Hisao Nakai. We're in the same class. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's Tiefy's voice. Kali, that's a good answer. And now I have to find a good answer to this question. Okay, so she seems that she's kind of gets scared easily. But I don't know. I myself don't really like it when people are like, "Oh, I'm sorry I startled you." Because I have a startle reflex that happens even if I'm not really that scared. So, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, I would want to apologize for startling her. But there's a part of me that would want to introduce myself to. Goddess, what to do? What to do with this? Okay, wait. I think I'm gonna save. Use one of my magic slots. And I'm actually going to see what happens if I save here. Create a new save state. Okay, I can do that. Okay. So now that I've done this, posture check. Will do. Yes, I do startle easily. So I've had to deal a lot with people saying, "Oh no, princess, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you." And I'm sitting on my disc saying, "No, it's okay." It was like an involuntary thing that happened to my muscles because I wasn't expecting that loud noise. Okay, so now that I've saved, now what I'm gonna do is choose one answer. I'm going to do the one that I would do, which is to basically say that I didn't mean to startle her because it looks like she just gets kind of nervous. And because the novel has pointed out earlier that no one really apologizes for startling her. So I don't know if it's because they know she doesn't like to be apologized to or they just don't care. But either way, I'm gonna go with this one. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. Aw, that sounds like something I would say literally. I know there's not much you can say to that, obviously, but I have said that lots of times. The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I let it slide. So, do you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncertain whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but she finally nods just a little. Purple-haired girl. Okay. I take the seat next to her and she hides herself behind her book. Okay, so she's a bit shy. Redeemed hydrate. I see that, Nikki. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. How is everyone liking this so far? I know my reading's a little bit not as good tonight, but I hope I hope everyone is still enjoying themselves. I am. I'm just doing my best here to read through everything and not try to read through it too quickly. Yes, and that is like me sometimes. I know I don't look it because I'm doing the VTubing thing, but I can be really shy. Really shy sometimes. And really a bit self-conscious sometimes when people are looking a little bit too hard, so I can understand maybe where she's coming from. Life of Pi? I never heard of it. So, sorry again for startling you. I'm Hisao. She looks up from her book, stalling a bit before replying. I know. We are in the same class. Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it's barely audible, even in the still library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. At least he admits that his impressions of people might be wrong, unlike a certain other male protagonist who actually has to go, wait, maybe I don't know the full story. At least he's here admitting right away he might not have gotten the right first impression. Hanako. I'm Hanako. I resist the urge to say that's a nice name just to have something to say, but really, it's the only thing I can think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be used to being different to each other, and here I am being all bothered and fussed about that kind of thing. That's the one about the Indian man and the tiger on the boat out at sea. Yes, I believe that it is, and I was always interested in that story, but never actually got the time to read or watch the major image of it. Don't let me interrupt your reading. I'll check these books if you don't mind. She nods a little and sighs a little sigh of relief. Okay, so she's just not very comfortable with social interaction, which means Hanako is interested in culture like you, Tiffy. Yes, and it means that she's also probably struggling with some anxiety and some shyness too, it looks like. Which I don't blame her, because she might have had to deal with a lot of unpleasant reactions and engagements with people because of the scars and stuff on her face. With a smidge of Comey, I agree. So I try to read the covers and the introductions of the books I picked up, and she buries her face in her book. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction, and I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scars it's hiding. After a while, I realize that she's doing the same and only pretending to be immersed in the life of Pi. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though. It darts around like a scared rabbit. Aww. Oh. Okay, now I really want to get to know her and tell her that it's okay. Also, Tiefyweefy, did you see Nikki's comment? I'm getting to that right now. Thank you. And my autism multiplies that feeling 100-fold, and I hate it because I can't be in a crowd without someone I know, or I end up in a panic attack. Aw. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us, Nikki. I kind of deal with a version of that myself, though it's not intense. I can get very overwhelmed from a lot of stimulation sometimes, and being around a lot of people also kind of makes me nervous. So don't worry. You're in good company. When our gazes finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. She stands up forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. Oh dear, okay. She might be getting ready to get mad at him for, like, staring too much. I... I... I've got to do something. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs toward the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she is nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you see or notice a girl run past here? Maybe? What did she look like? Long, dark hair, kind of shy. She had, well, some scars on her face. Also, oh dear, bathroom trip. Maybe, or maybe she's just feeling too stressed out and she's like, I gotta go, and she wants just to get some space. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuko, would you excuse me? I had better try to find her. Sure. I'll just hold on to these until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Okay, so she might be having a little bit of a moment. I'm not sure what that moment is, but she might have gotten triggered by something, and so the librarian probably wants to check up on her and make sure that she's handling the situation in a good way and able to calm herself down in a good way. Right, I'll see you later then. Or no, it was actually, I got it confused there. The librarian is the one who's staying. It's yeah, TV brain moment. It's Lily who's going to check on her. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. Yeah, probably super anxiety and it might be something else too, who knows. But yes, she deserves all the comf and the head pats we can send her. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. You will. I like the fact that he's trying. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing. I was just looking for some books, and then she got this fit and ran off. The most offending thing I could think of was I might have looked at her at her general direction a few times. Well, she is a very timid girl. You have to be very careful around her. She can be very jumpy, I think, and she's not accustomed to talking with other people. Oh, okay, okay. I love her anyway. That makes me just love her even more. Isn't that a bit strange? No, not when you consider what she's probably been through, which we're probably gonna get some hint at here. I wonder, is it just how she is? It's just how she is, I think. Yuko doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Super Comey then. But also probably with a whole other layer of things, because however she got those scars had to be pretty traumatic, so who knows if that involved other people or other unpleasant things involving people. So she might have like shyness mixed with trauma mixed with whatever else. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casually only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room. Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists that. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, Collie. I really am. Thank you. And I like how the writing is intelligent enough to talk about the way Hisao is feeling right now. That he doesn't want to just be super casual and not like addressing things that needs to be addressed. But he's also like concerned about whether he's doing like too much or doing the wrong thing, which I think is really mature for him. And I think it's really the right way to go for his character and for the nature of the story. I really like this. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. That is a good point too. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. Brain, stop it. It makes me smile and she blushes heavily. What? Did that sound stupid? No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else, which is also a good point. That we also need to be aware of how our brains and our lenses are lending to how we're interpreting things or engaging with things. I think it's really great that this visual novel offers us the opportunity to be cognizant of that and to be made more aware of that. I think that's great. Neither of us have anything to add, so Yuko fills the silence by shuffling some papers around. People who have papers on their desk really like doing that. Did you find any books? I should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing soon. I have to do it. I hope that's not too inconvenient for you. Much kudos, Katawa. Yeah. Agreed. Oh yeah, I want some books, but I left them over there because I'll just go get them. I fetched my stack of books from beside the beanbags where Hanako and I were sitting and returned to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? I surprised myself with that too, honestly. At least when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I just kind of started reading books to fill the time. I couldn't do much else. Again, me, totally me, right over here, filling my time with reading, learning stuff in the library. It's good though. It's given me a good base to work from. I see. But she doesn't say anything else and just checks out my books for me. I guess this is what they call tact. Holding the library books with one arm, I troll my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind startles me, making me nearly drop the books I'm carrying, or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? I turn around to see who is talking to me. It's Kenji. He seems to be in a friendly mood, although it is the light glinting off his glasses in the dark that gives him a sinister look. So what, evil Harry Potter? What do you think he's gonna do? Sneak up behind you and go, Expecto Patronus! No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously. Who is me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you the new guy? Are you some new guy again? His voice is suddenly strained and quick. Yes, but we've met before. Yesterday. I don't think so. I would remember someone who I only met yesterday. When was that? What day is it today? Oh dear, okay. It seems like he has some memory struggles, maybe. But that's okay. I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what? No, Hisao, I don't think so. Prove that we met before. You live across the hall. You're Kenji. Kenji, now forever the shitty Harry Potter character of this game. Shifty Harry Potter character of this game. Yeah, I suppose so. I can go with that. We can just start calling him Harry Potter from now on. Yes, I know, my slip of the tongue there. Also, Brain, stop it. You are doing a job on me tonight. This is so embarrassing. Okay. Okay. Tiefy is not having a... Why? Brain! No! Moving on. Does that make him Snape? Oh no. No, if he was Snape, he would have to have some defense against the dark arts. Oh no, TV, no worries. How can you say that? I'm doing such a... My reading tonight is just quality. Alright, moving on. Kenji jumps back, his eyes filled with an uncomprehending fear. How do you know my name? Damn, this can only mean one of two things. Either we have met, and you are telling the truth, and I just can't remember it, or you are a spy. Oh my, okay, this is escalating quickly. He pauses. A psychic spy. His eyes dart around me, trying to peek into my room, although it's hard to believe he can see anything through those thick glasses. Oh no. Thank you, Nikki. Still... Why? My brain is my worst enemy right now. But it's okay, we're gonna just deal with it. Oh no. Yeah, well, he's a forgetful type. He's a little suspicious maybe, but you know, he could just be that way because he has extra things going on. We'll see. His mood swung from friendly to manic. Oh, there's a key word, game. Manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic. How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader. Kenji points a finger in my face demandingly. Unlike you. Ooh, okay. Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room. Lies. If you think you can pass as Hisao because I'm legally blind, you are sorely mistaken. Okay. I think Kenji has some other stuff going on maybe today. I think he's having a day today is all I'm gonna say about that. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real slim. Maybe at a distance. But who do you think you're kidding? I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him. Exasperated, I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh. Stay there. Kenji comes closer, one careful step at a time. I stay still lest he assault me physically. Oh no. Although I doubt he could do much damage, even if he did. Ooh. Oh wait, I see it now. Damn, it is really you. Well, sighing again, and then once again, for good measure, I step backwards just in case. What's up, man? You don't look too good, I think. Something wrong? I don't know, I just had something stupid happen to me. What? A few stupid things, actually. Even if you discount this one, oh dear. I can't get a proper touch on other people here, and I have no idea if it's because of me or because of them. I don't know why I'm telling this to Kenji. It's not like we've had any contact either. It's rough, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry about calling you a psychic spy and all, but you can never be too careful. Okay, they're kind of giving us some hints. That he might be dealing with some other things besides sight thing, but I'm not gonna say anything more until we get that confirmed or not. It's a hard reality we live in. I'm slowly starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living in the same reality as the rest of us. You see? This is how it is, this world. There is no justice. You see, even when I lose, I win because I don't lose the lesson. What does that even mean? It doesn't matter. He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand. So what happened? Why the long face? Do you have a long face? It's nothing. I just scared some girl off accidentally, literally too. She actually ran away from me. It was my fault, really, I think. I'm not really used to all this yet. A girl? A cute one? Cute. That's a hard question. She had a nice body and really beautiful hair, but the face. Ooh, okay. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm gonna answer this. She was cute because I think she's cute, and I don't agree with Hisao about his nervousness around her face. Yeah, cute, I guess. I knew it. There are a lot of cute girls here. A strangely disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of this school. What? That there are tons of hot chicks with disabilities that just gravitate here? I tried to warn you, man, but did you listen? I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets? Yes, dark secrets. Extremely dark, like a black hole. Have you noticed that the number of girls in this school is slightly but significantly higher than the number of boys? It's like 60-40. He turns his head to the left and stares off into the distance at nothing. Why is it like this? I mean, to the untrained eye, it doesn't appear to be that bad, but it's a full 20%. Nikki says, oh my god, he's a player. Oh, well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what more Kenji is here. One would think that a school with such a huge pool of women would be a mainstream, but no. What I'm about to tell you could blow your mind. Are you ready? I don't know where this is going, but I think I won't be missing much by cutting out now. Oh no, I'm not ready. Just seems like he reads way too much into things, yes. Which might be, in fact, due to some other things, maybe, that we're going to be learning about some other disabilities that he might have. Maybe. I only get as far as turning the doorknob before Kenji starts talking again, showing that he doesn't really care if my mind is blown or not. But it would be good to heed what he says, too. Yes. It would. So, even if he seems to be in somewhat of a different reality than most people, it doesn't necessarily mean that some of his advice isn't worth taking. And also, as Kali points out, this is a good thing in mysteries and the things like that, is figuring out what's really going on, because there's always something going on. Kali. I believe that this school is a battleground, a site of feminist infiltration. Oh, goddess, okay. Well, the music got spooky there for a second. This disparity in the number of men to women is a clear sign of how far they have come. In this case, the Cold War turns hot. They will have superiority in numbers. Just another skirmish in the eternal war against the forces of the feminists. They're everywhere. In Japan, women outnumber men. It's not 60-40 split. It's only a matter of time, man. Even in America, women are the majority by a hair. They're building up their numbers. In the past, the buildup of a military has always been the clearest sign of imminent war. Japan is just the first step. Our economy is badass, and the country itself is small and isolated, yet a huge part of the Pacific in terms of political value. The perfect target. They're so cunning, as expected of women. Soon, the day will come when Kenji's voice trails off ominously. That's why you can't trust them. They will string you along and then kill you. Just as they killed me, you will end up just like me. Mwahahaha. Sorry, just felt that it needed that. Oh. Oh, hell no! I can't stop myself from blurting it out. Hey, what the hell does that mean? You said it, not me. It's the best I can think of. So, you're not supposed to say something like that. Damn, so rude. Where was I? Oh yeah. Vast feminist conspiracy. Stop. Stop. I lost you way back there somewhere around feminist infiltration. Too hard to follow? It's cool. I have some graphs and stuff in my room and puppets. You like puppets? Yee. Nice. No puppets. You don't like puppets. Okay, graphs are still cool though, right? He speaks energetically, responding almost before I'm done talking, moving his hands in an animated way as he continues to rant on. This is too strange. I had him pegged as relatively normal, but it's clear I was wrong. Something on your mind, dude? Just thinking about what it's like to be the last sane man in an insane world. Oof. Okay. Welcome back, Infinity. Boy, did you miss some fun stuff! You missed a whole download of the so-called feminist conspiracy plotting to take over the world, according to this guy, Kenji here. Kenji frowns, looking deeply upset. You mean that's you? It can't be, because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. That is my dream. You can't just steal a man's dream. Posture check. Okay. I'm doing one. Okay. Oh, come on. Body, work with me here. Okay. Are we good? Okay. What the hell? There can't be two last sane men. It would invalidate that whole last part. And that last part is kind of important. There can only be one. Like in that foreign movie where there could only be one. And in the end there is only one dude left because that was the point. I have never seen anyone talk so heatedly and so defensively about absolutely nothing before. Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. I also have a list of other dark and complex conspiracies that this school holds, as tangled as... Quick, finish my analogy for me. Be a pal. I'm going to go to bed now. It's extremely late. That doesn't sound like an analogy, but whatever. I like you. You seem like a cool dude. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when I try to explain the vast feminist conspiracy to them. Denial is a terrible thing. Later. He claps me on the back and then vanishes into his room so quickly and quietly. It's like he doesn't even open the door, but instead walked right through it like a ghost. Yikes. It's starting to make me wonder if maybe he really is one, that when he mentioned that maybe he got killed, maybe he really is. I don't know. Tiefy is weirded out now. And then Infinity says, it's background character, C version of Harry Potter, but he's not a main protag. More than that, he's a suspicious conspiracist Potter. What the heck does he watch? Last Man on Earth, or that similar documentary with women who are able to conceive by themselves? Forgot the name. Who knows? And now this whole game has me weirded out. I'm feeling like maybe I don't know whether he's alive or not. Makes me wonder if I've somehow been able to start seeing like dead people or communicating with them. That's what makes me kind of nervous about this now. Because they've even implied that. I don't know if I can fully digest what has happened, so I give up on it and just go to my room, knocking off my shoes before falling face first into bed. It takes me some time to relax and get up so I can get started on homework. Way to kill any romance boners, Kenny. Is he a necromancer? I don't know. But now it's making me wonder, like, is the novel gonna be like, surprise! He actually is a ghost or something? Probably not, but just the fact that it's even been insinuated makes me a little bit wary now. It's because the sheets are cool and comforting against my cheek, and it feels good just lying there with my eyes closed. This school is like some kind of bizarre and surreal island. It's isolated on top of a mountain, and each person is stranger than the last. I just can't seem to fit in. What irony. One would think that fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anywhere else would be easy. Maybe I'm trying too hard. No, I think you're doing a good job, Hisao. Keep trying. That's what matters, that you're putting in effort. Although I say that, it doesn't help take the edge off, and the words are left echoing off my empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. This place really is more a school and less a hospital, pretending it's a school than I thought it would be. Well, it's not in the traditional fantasy sense, you don't know. Yeah, and I don't know what to make of that character Kenji yet. It seems like we might be getting to the end of a chapter, here. I was thinking I might just leave it off at the end of a chapter, even though I know it's gonna probably make this cast a bit shorter, than the last one. But I think that might be good. I'm not sure. I could do another chapter, but then that would make this, probably go on for a couple more hours, but let's just see how close we are to the end of the chapter, and then I'll see what I feel like. If nothing else, the scenery is beautiful. I open one eye, seeing the school books and bottles of pills arranged side by side on my desktop. Maybe this place is too much like a normal school after all. Okay, so we are at the end of a chapter right now. So I will go ahead and save this at any rate. I'm gonna go ahead. Well, I guess I could save over this now, since I already made a choice. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna just make a new one in case for any reason I want to go back. Okay, so I could continue and possibly do one more chapter if you guys are interested. If not, I might just call the cast here. For now, just because it is kind of a nice, tidy little episode, even if it does mean that this cast of mine is a lot shorter than normal. I think it's a comfortable spot here too, so I am going to go ahead and quit out of the story then, for now. And from there, I guess I can see about who to raid. Again, thank you everyone. Thank you lords and ladies who were able to stop by tonight and hang out with me. I really appreciate it. Again, I know that my reading was a little bit off tonight and I had some really weird moments mentally, but I hope it was still fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me anyway. I had fun. Holly says that there are lots of good people to raid at this hour, so I'm going to quickly look that up in my Scribble and pick a nice lord or lady to raid. I think I would like to do Wonderland. Let's see, World and Panda. That's what I want to do. So it's World End with no space and then Panda. So I might have to type it in chat. Also Nikki just gave a suggestion too. Any of those are fine. Let's go raid someone who is doing some D&D. I think that'd be fun. So Colleen, go ahead, and if you want to help take care of that for me, that would be very lovely. To do that. Yes, D&D. Why not? D&D sounds good to me. Let's go. Let's go raid them. Yes. They have raided me a few times, so we're definitely gonna repay that. Let's go raid them. Rawr.